Hey, let's see if this works like it used to. It's been a while since I've done anything streaming wise. I think I will goof off a little bit here, draw a little something. I'm just going to start sketching in pen and basically go for a kind of a doodle thing. I'll use this little pocket brush, which is a slight step up from the usual pocket brush. It's filled with real India ink. Got a nice tip on it. There's guys like Elliot Fernandez that can make it operate like a Winsor Newton Sable 3. I can't, but that's alright. This will be my workhorse doodle pen, which is I forget what these things are called. Pig, let's see. It is a Bimoji Kuretake. So I'll just do some drawing. Do something very let's see what kind of figure I build out of it. That's the deal, the figures that come out of the just the Bridgman basics of quartering up your. This is going to be more look like a John Buscema kind of basics, and just the Bridgman. If you wanted to go with the Bridgman, you would make sure you were thinking of your volumes, and you'd have divvies up of thinking about how the planes, the big simplified planes, were moving around. And but if you're thinking and copying the Buscema notions that are found in how to draw the modern way, you're going to put a much more of an emphasis on your draw through and your gesture, which I have tended to, but I'll go back to the real solid Bridgman thinking when I feel the need. So here I've got these really, I forget what's that guy's name, really good guy that can draw off the top of his head. It just goes straight to the paper. But you'll always see him. He'll touch it, he'll think about it, and then he'll draw. So there's something going on there that's just a little more than just saying, watch this. This is going straight up here to the board. There's this little touching, and then making the mark. So, you know, he's intellectualizing quite a bit, but people don't realize that it looks like it just went up without any sort of like, it looks like black magic the way he draws. Nah, he's thinking about it. I'm thinking about it too, but I'm putting down way more process than he would ever put down. So here I've got this big mess of a really drawn through figure up to something, and you know, I'm always drawing these hands maybe a little too quickly, or at least Doug told me I was drawing them too quickly. I just uploaded a whole bunch. I uploaded it on my other YouTube channel though, my Plastastic channel, because this channel that I'm streaming to, I'm figuring there's just a remote chance it might get monetized someday, and something where I've loaded a whole bunch of stuff from like an old video game or something like that. It would just corrupt the notion of eventual monetization that it might enjoy otherwise. So I'll always put my scrappy stuff on my other channel. Plastic, all one word, P-L-A-Z, Pastic, P-A-S-T-I-C, like spastic. I made up the contraction myself. You'll find it nowhere else in the universe. Plastic. Real professional sounding username. But I'm in a world of people that, make up some of the goofiest names for themselves. So I join my fellow sinners on goofiness. I'm not at a horrible ergonomic angle right now. I finally changed around this drawing table is now hooked up at a right angle to my way I used to sit up. This is so much more comfortable. This may make me a threat during drawn and quartered night. So right now, but another big reason I'm really comfortable though is I've got the OBS doing the streaming, and I've got a expanded crop on the image plane you're looking at. So in other words, I've got the stuff high up and out of my way. That's a big factor. Well, see, now this knee, you can't have your knee not follow a certain, there's only a certain range of movement that you can get not following the direction in the normal, you'd call it a normal in 3D, of the knee, the Z coming out of the knee, the Z out of the knee. And this foot's just a little off from what you can expect from the Z from the knee. And you got, I've got this, I tend to think of my ideal figures in terms of like, I guess probably opposite of my own body type. I'm skinny now, but even at being skinny, your bone structure are what determine your, how you hang the meat and the beauty that you can possibly hope to achieve out of your form. And I just don't have any way to achieve say a John Philip Law, the angel from Barbarella. I don't have that body type. That skeletal structure just is not something for me. I can't do it. I'm a little square, a little more of a square than that. So that's my body type. And it's like, get used to the idea. Don't think about, well, you can always try to cope with something like that if you consider it something that is a big drawback to you. What is funny to me is some of these moments that are captured by pointing the camera at yourself and you realize, look at that. Here's this feature, considering how self-conscious I've been my entire life. Thank God I didn't know I had that bad feature. I've got the hookiest nose. I had no idea how much of a beak I had really until I started to see my head turn in certain planes as I was talking on some of these videos. And it's like, whoa, geez, how about that beak? And that's something that if I wasn't just totally beyond all that notion now as an old man, to where it's like you start thinking about like Magnolia and that guy that has his teeth removed because I forget why he just had to have his teeth removed. Some vain thought crosses his mind why he has to have it. I think it was empathy with some sort of bartender he felt attracted to. What's that guy's name? The guy that was in Boogie Nights that had his wife. It was a porn star, and he committed suicide right in front of her. He's also in Fargo. He's great in Fargo. Okay, well, yeah, I dig this, but you can see all the draw through that went on in this. Let's make him into. And we just add some more notes to him with a different brush. So that lets me get. Kind of bold, quick. See, that's something I wanted to say about something. Not really. Yeah, oh yeah, I was just going to mention it. I'm having a great time right now. I'm writing, and I'm at a point where I did the final bit of what I call it. I've got my own terms for everything, of course. So, I guess everybody's got their own style of doing things. My term for what I do when I write, where I finally feel like it is 90% finished, is like I've lived in it. If I finally just walk through everything I've written and I see it totally, and to me this all comes up as is in pieces. It's in pieces. It never comes up to me all at once. It comes up to me all at once, most likely in a scene involving some dialogue or something. And I found it's like, even if you aren't going to have dialogue, and you're going to cut it down and just be visual, and don't try to write it purely like that. If that sort of living in it, if you're helped out by dialogue, even if it's a guy like having some sort of internal monologue, write that dialogue down. Write it down to draw yourself into it. I mean, you're going to want to draw a reader in and draw yourself into it at some point or other by whatever trick it takes. And so anyway, right now I've switched from just making rich text document is how I have been writing, and I'm taking it bit by bit. I just cut and paste the whole thing into final draft, and I am coming along, and I'm just coming to a bit, and I'm highlighting it, and then going up to the thing and morphing it into whatever is appropriate. Action, dialogue, character, scene heading, cut, and it changes, it moves it where it ought to be, which is beautiful. I mean, it's starting to look so real as a script now. I'm on page 10, which would amount to almost 10% of what I hope it comes out to in length. Now, I'm wondering right now, does it get longer? It surely can't be longer than the standard length, because it seems like, to me, my biggest worry surely was always that it was going to be too short. But you never know. I might have actually written enough that I go long on it. I doubt it, though. 120 pages is considered semi-ideal. I would think that people, and 1 page per minute is considered what's going on there. So you've written a standard 2-hour movie. But I would think there would still be somebody that would consider it a strong market for a nice little Roger Corman length something or other, because 90 minutes to me is some of my favorite movies. It's like, and as a matter of fact, some of my biggest, your criticisms will go to things that overstay their welcome. You'll say, oh, geez, We could have cut 30 minutes out of that. Easy. Oh well, I'm gonna stop streaming and see how it came out. This is really good though in terms of like how easy it was to draw.